You hear me? Is that close enough? So, when I was 18, I started working at Crocker Bank in San Francisco, and a really cool Crocker Bank at the bottom of One California Street across from the Hyatt Regency, the Octagon Building. Such a cool place to work. And I was having such a great time learning how to be a teller. And this is back when they did not have computers and all this stuff. We did everything by hand. It was stamp this, stamp that, debits and credits. That's the way it worked. No ATMs. It was amazing. Now, I enjoyed this to the point that I would be having my own line. People figured out not only was I fast, I knew how to do stuff really good, and we had a good time in my window. So my boss, who had been working for Crocker Bank for 20 years, she says to me, she goes, "Diane Amos." I go, "What?" She goes, "What are you doing?" I go, "What do you mean?" She goes, "I have been at this bank for 20 years. I have never seen a teller that had not only had their own line, but that people are adamant about getting in it. And that your line will be longer than other people's lines, and all of your customers are gone. And every time they leave, they're laughing, smiling, and waiting to see you again." Most people hated tellers back then because people that deal with your food and your money, it's a particular thing, right? And I just had it down. Plus, it was my own little stage. Come on now, 18. I was doing improv with Robin Williams and hanging out and just having a fabulous life. So it was a perfect stage. Then we got a new loan manager. Let's call him Ed. And he was a blinker. To the point of distraction. But when something like that happens, I don't say nothing because you don't know what that's about, right? Like you can't really say anything, so I just let that go, whatever that means. And during lunchtime, back in the day with no ATMs, Bechtel and all the corporations would let out, and the bank was filled with people. There'd be 10 tellers, and 7 or 8 lines, depending on who's at lunch, would be just full of people. You had to actually take your lunch sometimes because you'd be in lunch for half an hour at the bank. Young people take note. And for real. And so he was very, I'll work your window while you're gone for lunch. I'm like, oh, great, So he would work my window, me and Carlos, the other brown person in the bank. There was 3 of us. And all of a sudden, I'm kind of coming up short in my bank. I'm like, what? Because I don't really do that. I got this down, right? Not only was I fast, but I moved 3 times the money that you would get in the morning. We would get 5,000. Well, I would move 15 or 20 in the time that most people were moving 5 or 6. So my manager would give me more money, and I would just have a great, thing going. Well, now I'm starting to come up short. First it was, $50. Then we were like $100. I'm like, well, hold on, right? So now I'm under investigation. And they served this with a big cup of shame. And I was like, here I am, like one of the few black people in this bank, and now I've got this shame on me. They tell you they go through all of your accounts, everything. And now the people that I trained on the line have to come watch me work sometimes during the day. And they would stop my line and just count my drawer, make sure I was in stealing. And I did not take that cup of shame for 2 reasons. Number 1, I'm not a thief. And number 2, I'm not stupid. I actually understand debits and credits. I'm not doing that. But it's coming back, and so me and Carlos, this is happening to us. So now I'm under investigation, and in about a month and a half, my boss says to me, "Diane, can I talk to you?" And I said, "Sure." She takes me into the vault. It's quiet in the vault, y'all. And she gets in there, and she says, "I have to ask you a question." I said, "What?" She goes, "Are you stealing from Crocker Bank?" I go, "Carol, no, of course not. Hell no." She goes, "That's what I told them. And I told them that if you were stealing, that I would leave too." I said, "Girl, we working. Don't worry about it. We got jobs." She said, "That's what I needed to hear." So she put her job on the line because they were investigating like crazy. 2 months after this investigation, where I passed my bonuses and my raise I was supposed to get, in comes Xavier. Xavier is about a 5'3" big hip Filipino dude. And when Xavier walks in the bank, somebody's ass is getting fired that day. That's the only reason he came to the bank, was to fire people. He was the dude. So when he walks in, I look back at my boss's desk, and this is back in the day we could smoke at your desk, and she smoked a cigarette. She goes, right, she's smoking. And I thought, ooh, what's about to happen, right? So they come in, and they pretty publicly fire this loan guy because he had been writing fictitious loans to his parents and his cousins and stealing out of our drawers. It became evident, obviously, I was not all of a sudden giving away $50. So it was like, okay, so the truth has come out. And now I can sit in the fact that I was the fastest teller in that bank. I had my own line. My customers were back. My boss and I had our jobs. And I realized, don't serve me a cup of shame because I'm not having it. Thank you.